Japan is stuck.
Yes.
And a reason for that was saying that the people that make the decisions are usually very old and old-fashioned in their views. So they've been very kind of resistant to immigration. As like a way
we don't want to open the door.
Yeah, to solve the aging population crisis. Do you think that's a good solution, or do you think that would help? And I don't know if what would most Japanese feel like? I try to talk to some of my Japanese friends and students about it, but they don't really want to talk about it. It's always that they seem to be quite reluctant to talk about politics.
Are they reluctant, or they just don't know much about it, so they don't have much to say about it?
It could be that too.
I don't think it's like they would want to.
But it's like they didn't have an opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like. But if you don't want to talk about it, you could still have an opinion, right?
Yes,
but
certainly.
They were just like, I don't know, kind of thing, or they just didn't want to talk about it. Yeah.
So you got an impression. It's not that they do have a certain opinion, but they don't want to share.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
Oh yeah.
But so I was wondering. I don't know what to.
But I find it like with my colleagues compared to like people abroad, people don't talk about the politics. People don't like discuss their position. We don't talk about it.
Yeah, not like Americans. They love it, don't they?
Yeah, well, same as Australians. It's when I talk to my dad, they're always annoyed at the government and what they're doing and da. But I don't really, I obviously don't talk to a lot of Japanese people about politics in Japan.
It's like especially young people have like no hope in like whoever we choose, like nothing. It's gonna be the same. So people don't vote. It's also like the major difference is that it's not compulsory for us to vote. Certain countries make it compulsory to go voting, right?
Well, Australia, it's compulsory to register. But you don't have to actually vote. You can just.
You don't have to.
No, or you can just draw something on the paper and then just toss that in.
Yeah, you can do even a no vote, right? It's like
exactly.
Vote for a no party. So it's the same as like not voting.
But at least like no vote is also an expression of like what you believe or what you want to support. So it's different from not having an opinion.
Yeah. So in Japan, you would say like a lot of young people don't even
just don't
voting.
Go. It's so low, like written.
I mean, Ben and I, we have permanent residency here, but we're not allowed to vote.
Yeah, is like that kind of exclusion is so strange. It's kind of related to this article.
Yeah,
like we need foreign labor, we need people. So we need you, but we don't want to give you certain benefits that is entitled to Japanese, even if you are permanent resident. And you should have a say in how this country is run because you're very much part of the like society and the community.
Especially as a permanent resident.
And you pay tax.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Pay a lot of taxes.
But we're not Japanese, and I guess the fear is that we're gonna take over the culture, and hey, you should wear board shorts in this onsen. So there's that fear of change, I think,
That's what the article said, a lot of fear of change.
But at the same time, we are very open and welcome to like a culture, like soft power. We welcome those like foreign media and artists and movies. We are happy to consume our clothing, wedding style. All of that we would be taking in, right? But for certain elements, we would say no. And who are these people?
The old people.
Because there is
we have like large aging population, like aged people. Maybe that's a problem.
Yeah.
If our country had more people.
Younger people. Yeah, I think
younger people.
Yeah,
younger people in power.
Yeah.
I mean, the governor of Hokkaido, he's kind of young,
He's
right?
young.
30, 38, 39.
Yeah.
I find that with many of the companies, you get these old guys, sort of clinging onto the company, and they just don't accept change or any new ideas or any innovative ideas. This is a generalization, but kind of what I was.
You just have to wait until they die, basically.
Yeah, like exactly.
But you have the oldest, was it the longest lifespan in the world? It's
Yeah.
tough.
And
It's
then-
like a natural selection. Maybe it's like something maybe politically not so correct to say, but that's why maybe pandemics happen for us, like to regulate the population after time to time. You know? It has to happen, like it does happen if you look back in the history. It's happening. Like no matter how much like scientifically and medically advanced we are, it happens, and maybe it's necessary for the healthy
to
maintain the
kill off the weak.
It's like that movie Logan's Run, where they kill him off at 30 years old, new rebirth. But I mean, also with your government too, it's very kind of insulated. It's all families from generation to generations, and they don't seem to kind of live in the real world. I find that with a lot of maybe governments around the world, I guess. But you said even if you voted out the party that's in power now, which is what, the LDP, and then you vote in the other party, they're still exactly the same, all the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And same people, same family members. So what is it like? Shinzo Abe's grandfather, I think, was a prime minister.
Yeah.
And maybe his great grandfather.
Do you vote? It's a personal question, but do you or?
Well, that's another thing, right? A lot of Japanese people don't like to talk about who they support, right? I remember.
I've never asked somebody. Sorry, is that a rude question?
No, it's not a
Is it
rude
taboo?
question.
No?
I do.
Okay.
Well, yeah. But if I'm not excited about somebody, I would like to look at like what the policies they're like promoting.
Of course.
Right.
Of course not
And
just
if something
blind.
that clicks with my view, then I'd
So the
like.
screaming on those little trucks around the streets, you're like, yes, yes. That's
I
for
don't
the-
understand because
for those listening in Japan. Politicians do not go on TV, and they don't answer questions from reporters, correct? And they don't go on TV and just talk about their proposals or their ideas. You know,
There's no debates, is there?
there's no. Is there a debate?
Is there a debate?
no, there isn't like a very official one, but they sometimes come and talk.
very structured, is
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
But they talk to the people, right? They go out
Yeah,
into
they.
the streets.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
But
cool,
like
isn't
oftentimes what we come across in these like campaign cars,
Yeah.
they just shout their name and so what?
And
Like
say onegaishimasu, onegaishimasu. Yeah.
Like so what do you yeah. What are you going to do for us? We don't know. We just not hear their name, right?
If-
So when they do come out into the streets and they've got their van and everything, and people can go and talk to them, right, and ask them questions. Or
They just
No,
drive
they
past.
don't. They don't.
drive
They
past.
just drive past, right?
Avoid
You
them.
don't stop them.
Yeah.
They would all. The best they would do is
Is
wave,
yeah.
wave.
Yeah.
from the car.
Yeah. I put my fingers in my ears and look
Yeah,
angry.
they're
Like
loud.
maybe their first policy should be we're gonna stop noisy cars with speakers on them.
Well, it should kind of be illegal, right? Like forcing people to listen to noise.
Yeah.
Because in England, that's considered noise pollution.
Yes,
and
it is.
You could, like, if your neighbour is being too loud, you can call the police.
Yeah.
And get them arrested, maybe. But you can't do that
No.
to a politician in Japan.
Yeah, so for those listening, in Japan, so politicians aren't in the media so much. So the way they get their name out is to drive around in these small vans with speakers screaming into microphones.